Okay, we are here with another episode of Middle-Aged and Mediocre, episode 24.
Yeah.
I'm Cash.
I'm Joel.
We are back for another, I think we missed a week.
I don't know if we did or not.
Look, time's not real anymore.
Yeah, what is...
And I can't keep track of anything. So whenever we both end up in the same room, these get made.
Yeah, this is my 4th week not working. I go back to work tomorrow, though.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that puts me on some sort of...
So back into the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been working the whole time. I really kind of...
sorry.
Well, I guess I had like a week off when I was sick.
Yeah, that's not much of a week off, though.
I would love to be quarantined for
waiting
months.
for death.
So we are going to do something a little bit different today's episode.
No murder.
No murder, really. I think everybody just needs a breath of... or take a breath. Let's not talk about death and murder. We're going to talk about... We're going to introduce ourselves to any new listeners or people that just don't know us. We've talked about this on other podcasts we've done. But we'll just be, the next couple episodes will just be kind of introductions to the hosts of this podcast.
What makes us so middle-aged and what makes us so mediocre?
There's
not enough time for all of that. But.
I got our Twitter reinstated yesterday.
Yeah.
So if you...
Reinstated, that makes us sound so much cooler than what we are.
Yeah. If you want our Twitter...
Don't tell your parents you're following us on Twitter.
If you want to follow us, it's mid-age mediocre. M-I-D-A-G-E mediocre.
Or look for my tramp stamp. That's why I have tattooed on my lower back.
We had it when we first started this podcast. This was when we were doing the ECW watch-alongs.
Yeah.
I made the Twitter account, and like within a week, it got banned. Like he got suspended, and I have no idea what happened.
It's Steve Carino's fault.
Steve Carino, fucking Steve Carino.
I'm telling you.
So I got it back for us though. So we're on there, mid-age mediocre, and we got an Instagram, which you can follow us. It's middle-aged and mediocre on Instagram. So we're doing the damn thing on social media. But
we'll post our tasteful pictures on Instagram.
Maybe. They'll have the cute emoji sensors
over my nips.
One thing while I was trying to find what our Twitter had been. Like I couldn't remember the name that I had to use because I knew
when we first started with ECW.
Yeah, because I knew I tried middle-aged mediocre and it wouldn't let me put the whole thing in. So I'm like searching Twitter for middle-aged mediocre or whatever, and the only tweet I could find. Let me see if I can pull it up here again. I thought it was funny, and I really wish. I thought about maybe taking it and making it like a tagline.
Yeah.
For our...
Who's it a tweet by?
It's just some random person. It has nothing to do with us.
Oh.
It's just a very random... I can't find it anymore. It's from like 2011, and it's just some random person, and they go, the last thing you want to be in life is middle-aged mediocre.
That is a good tag for us.
I was like, oh, fuck. I'm going to see if... I was like, 2011, it's fair game.
Man,
by
I got
now.
to change my tramp stamp now.
Don't get a chest.
Can I put like a PS?
Oh, no, I was going to actually talk to you about getting face tattoos.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you could, like, Post Malone it and get, like, just the words underneath your eyes.
The last thing, that is so much on my face.
That's a lot of your face.
That's people are going to have to read that, and that's just looking at my face too long, and I'll get paranoid. Like,
well, if you didn't have all that hair on your head now,
yeah, I know.
You could get your head tattooed, but you messed that up.
I know.
You could go all Bam Bam Bigelow.
I went unbald during the quarantine.
Yeah, Joel has very long, luscious locks of hair right now. It's very blonde.
Blonde,
which is surprising to me.
You called me Tiger King when I came in.
Well, I said you look a little bit like Tiger King meets Sid Vicious.
Yep.
So, Sid Justice, if you will.
If you will.
So yeah, what's been going on, man? You've been on in-home lockdown.
Yeah, just quarantine. I mean, pretty much staying at home. If I go anywhere, I go to my cousin Mike's. You know Mike. I mean, that's like pretty much my brother. Yeah. So not hanging around with a bunch of people.
He's your cousin brother.
Cousin brother, yep. Yeah. He's my brother from my dad's brother.
Brother.
Did Hulk Hogan just break in? brother. But yeah, just pretty much hanging out with him and elevating my mind. Wink.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A lot of drugs, huh?
Reading the Bible.
Okay. While on drugs?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
is there any other way?
That's a good way to read it, really.
Yeah. How else am I going to argue with the snakes?
That's
right. Gotta be on drugs.
You gotta get your facts straight.
Yeah. I don't like it, though. I'm ready to go back to work, just to have a little structure back to my day. Like, I guess if I could have gone places, it wouldn't be bad to be off for 4 weeks.
Right.
But, I mean, if I could have gone places, I wouldn't have been off for 4 weeks. So I don't know.
Catch-22.
It's a weird place right now for me.
Yeah,
We're going down the spiral now.
Where would you go though if you could go? I mean,
I'd like to go see my dad.
you mean like okay? I
immediately thought
stores.
I would like to go to flea markets. I would like to do a lot of stuff. It's just you just have to sit around.
Well, I mean, some people's garages are flea markets. You just go into the garages.
Yeah, I've been robbing people.
They can't stop all of it. Yeah,
I've been robbing lots of people.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you've been making good use of your time.
Allegedly
robbing people. Yeah.
I'm not saying I haven't, and I'm not saying I have, but I have been robbing people.
You watch anything good lately?
Extraction.
You got all this free time. So.
Yeah, I have been watching a lot. I watched all Shameless, Extraction.
Was
I've
awesome.
been watching a lot of movies. Just watched RoboCop today. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
RoboCop's so funny. You guys have to go watch it and just look for the funny parts.
Extraction. There's one scene in that movie that it was just a very minor thing, but ever since I watched it, I have wanted to do it so fucking badly.
What?
Like it's towards the beginning. This isn't really spoiler alerts. When he first goes in to rescue the kid, and he has to fight like in that apartment, he has to fight all those people.
Yeah.
There's one guy that he kicks the dude in the fucking leg so hard that it like makes the dude go up in the air sideways.
Oh yeah.
And the guy is just like suspended in the air for a second and then just like crashes to the floor.
It's a violent movie.
I have so badly wanted to just leg kick someone as hard as I can and see if I can't get him to flip off the ground.
As soon as we're done recording, baby.
We'll try it.
I got you.
Let's go out the front yard.
All right.
Do some leg kicks.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I watched Stuber with Batista.
Oh, is it good?
That's actually better than what I thought it would be. I liked it a lot.
Who's the
foreign actor?
He's like the guy that just got all fucking jacked for a Marvel movie.
And it's funny because he jokes about Batista and a lot about his physique and stuff.
That movie looked. I remember the trailer for it. Looked fucking hilarious.
It's on HBO Go, so I just checked it out and I really liked it.
Okay.
So it's just sitting around watching movies.
I saw the trailer for it. I went to watch something in the movie theater by myself, and there was like a few other people in the movie theater, but I was laughing so fucking hard at the trailer, and I realized no one else was, which I was like, well, you guys are all...
For that Stuber movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I really liked it.
Which movie theaters, I think those are dead.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever have movie theaters again.
What, do you need them? Trolls just made $100 million on...
Yeah, just putting shit out for home release.
Digital rental. I mean, they'll be fun just because it's somewhere to go out. I mean, you know. It's kind of creepy to ask a girl out for a first date to your house to watch it. Want to come over and rent a movie digitally?
Like Trolls? You want to rent Trolls?
And get some other digits going?
That's just cutting out the middleman, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think drive-ins are going to make a big comeback.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You're going to have to. Which, drive-ins are awesome.
I like drive-ins. Take some beers, some
I had a
joints.
few years of my life where I could go to them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was a kid.
The Jungle.
The Jungle drive-in.
Yeah, I went to the Jungle towards that last year they had there, and I was going. We'd get fucked up and shit, sit there and watch movies.
I think it's opening back up.
Yeah, it's. We were just talking about that. They have a sign. I don't know now what this will do to it, but...
Well, I'm sure now it'll push it even harder to open up.
Yeah, because it's kind of... That's social distancing right there. Stay in your own car.
Yeah, there would be a lot of shit though that has like I don't know how many drive-in movie theaters can like right now.
No concessions,
probably.
They
can afford to get those kind of projectors and shit. These movies are made so differently now.
Movies, man,
they're crazy, man.
That's what today's episode about is how we make movies.
It's not. I told you.
I have all these notes.
I told you I changed. Did I not? I texted you yesterday and said, "Hey, different show."
1938, the first movie. No, I'm just kidding. No, this like you said, we're gonna get to know each other a little bit.
Yeah,
I know you pretty well.
Yeah, I figure we
maybe the listeners. We've talked about this story in all our other podcasts because it kind of happened 2 years ago, and we've been doing podcasts this whole time. So, but this will be the first time I think we've talked about it, like from the beginning all the way to the end.
Yeah, and like you're prepared.
Yeah, I'm somewhat prepared. I mean, I lived it.
Right.
So this, I'm pretty, but I got the timeline written down. I wrote some of my serial killer notes, as you like to call them.
Yeah. Well, that looks less serial killer.
I went pretty hard on my notes. I was trying to read some of my notes from later in the story to talk about where I had to stay in a hotel, and I couldn't read half of them because I wrote just so bad.
Yeah.
But,
I'll do that. All right.
Yeah. People might be like, "Hey, Joel, why are you so middle-aged and mediocre?"
And then here's the reason. Here's one of many reasons.
It was this story starts Friday the 13th. Should we just get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. This was Friday the 13th, 2018.
All right.
So it's Friday the 13th. You know,
So, hey, we're keeping the spooky theme going.
Yeah. It's about 2 years. I mean, this is May now, and this is, no one died in this story, but I kind of wish I was dead.
But inside. On the inside a little bit.
So much from this. So it was a Friday. I worked until about 5 o'clock. I got off work, and I went home, changed immediately, and me and my wife went to Wilmington, Ohio to watch a comedy show.
The other Wilmington.
Yep, not North Carolina. Our buddy Dan Dean just gotten back from some deployment in the Army. This is his first comedy show. I wasn't even performing. Some people, I've been known to do comedy.
A time or two.
But this night, I was just going to watch. So I get off work, I change, rush around, we hit the road, and on the drive I have a little glass pipe about the size of my pinky, just a little tiny glass one-hitter. I hit that maybe twice on the ride up.
Well, so it's not a one-hitter then, it's...
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
You hit it twice, so it's...
Well, I packed it up. Maybe I hit it, emptied it, and packed it back up. Were you there, Josh?
At least a two-hitter.
All right, I'm leaving. That's the end of this story. What happened next, we'll never know, because Josh is a dick.
I'm just trying to keep the facts straight, all right? I'm trying to keep you honest.
Okay. It's like a glass multi.
I know what you're talking about. Keep going.
So it's like a 3-hour drive to Wilmington. We get there around 7:30, maybe close to 8. I hit it like one more time in the parking lot. We go in for the comedy show. We get in the show, and Dan's like, hey, do you want to perform? I need you to perform. You're the funniest comedian ever.
That sounds like,
You have to perform.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Dan, I'll do you this one solid.
Like he's like, they've been chanting your name for an hour. They heard rumors of you were coming.
There was like 4 people there.
400.
But he did. He let me do comedy. I told him that's not why I went. We wanted to go and support him and just say hi because he came back. But he said I could do comedy. So I did. I opened up, did time. He even ended up paying me for the show. We hung out. They had one of the punching machines there.
It sounds like a lot of bragging.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So far,
I have to build myself up because I'm gonna get low. Okay, so I was the funniest comedian ever that night.
Okay.
Killed.
Right.
They had a punching machine. I had the hardest punch out of everybody. All right.
And Mike Tyson was there. So
yeah,
that's impressive.
Mike Tyson was there. And then we get in the car around 11 and we go to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of the story.
Okay. Great story, man.
Yeah, and
you look great at it. I gotta say, I'm a little more attracted to you than I was before we started recording.
It's the hair.
So, well, I mean that, and you can punch harder than everybody in the room.
And I'm really funny.
And you had
it was at a bowling alley bar.
Adoring fans, chanting your name.
So we leave, and we get there, and it's daytime. So we leave, and it's nighttime. And I've never been to... Yeah, that's... So, I mean, I've never been there before. So now I'm trying to leave at night.
Right.
And we're in Ohio. I'm from West Virginia. We're leaving a bar. And as soon as I pull out...
Well, real quick, for people that don't know, Ohio, all of the landscape and everything changes at night. That is a fact about Ohio. So it's a shape.
And I didn't have my night glasses, my night driving glasses.
It's the only shapeshifter state in the union.
Fucking Ohio.
So so you had that to deal with.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And I didn't know that at the time either.
Right. Not a lot of people.
I wish you were there with me.
Not a lot of people know that about Ohio, but it's a fact.
We're getting the word out. That's the reason we're telling this story. No, but I wasn't sure how far I had to be on that road before I needed to get back on the highway. And I knew it wasn't long. So I pull out, and I get to the very first red light, and I'm thinking this is where I need to turn right. So I'm kind of doing that deal where I'm like, I'm stopped. I'm waiting for my wife to get directions up. I was like, is this where I turn right? And I'm getting ready to turn right on red. And she's like, no, keep going straight. Well, as soon as the light turns green, siren's behind us.
Right.
All right, and it's caught. It's not like a fire truck. It's like, where's the fire?
It's
pow?
not like the women that sing to you to draw you. It's
No,
not like those kind of sirens.
I wish. No, it was a state trooper. And she pulled me over.
She?
Yes. Female. They let him out of the kitchen now, Josh. It's 2000. Well, it was 2018 then, but they were definitely allowed out of the kitchen then.
Look, I just didn't realize Ohio had progressed
God,
so much.
Josh, go back to your cave.
I was saying Ohio was in a cave.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, fuck Ohio. That's the main. Take that away from the story.
That will be one of the main takeaways.
Fuck Ohio. So I get pulled over, and I didn't smoke after the show. We just got in the car, and we were like, we'll start smoking once we hit the highway.
I'm sorry. I just threw my phone for some reason.
Josh just leg swept me and then chopped me down onto the floor. I thought we were going to do this afterwards. You tricked me.
I got impatient. I'm sorry. Okay, go. Okay, sorry.
So I get pulled over, and we hadn't been smoking or anything. It's just away in the car. But you know me. I got the dank. So she pulls me over. She comes up to the car, and she's like, sir, I pulled you over for going too slow. And she
Which
goes,
is a bullshit.
Yeah.
Be pulled over.
And because of when I pulled out to the far lane instead of pulling. Because I'm used to West Virginia where, like, that first lane's the turning lane, and then you pull out, you know.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about motherfuckers merging from the turning lane.
Oh, I'm well aware.
She didn't know how I feel about motherfuckers merging from the turning lane.
You think we've all got a death wish.
So I went to the lane I thought I had to be in. I didn't know.
Now, real quick, too, are you the only one on the road, basically?
Yes, I wait because when I drive, I mean, I'm super cautious driver. Like I waited till I didn't have to pull out in front of anybody. I mean, yeah, there's no one else around. Really,
right now, driving too slow isn't a.
I was driving
thing.
to a red light.
It's not a thing that exists though. Like you're not on the highway and going like 20 miles an hour and endangering others.
Yeah, and plus I was going towards a red light. So apparently I was supposed to speed up to the red light.
You got to get to the stoplights real fast, or the red lights as fast as you can.
Don't fuck around.
Slam the
not
brakes.
in Ohio.
Right. They have a different way of doing things.
The landscape shape shifting. We don't have time.
So you're
for you
pulled
to go
over.
slow.
You're using the right lane.
And she comes up to my window. She's like, I pulled you over. You're going too slow. You pulled out to the wrong lane. I smell weed. And I was like, I have weed on me. Mm-hmm. You know, I was like, well, I'm just going to get this over with. I'll get my ticket. Yes, I am a giant marijuana plant. But I was like, you know, like, keep in mind, I'm white. So I just thought, like, you know, what's going to happen? I'm going to get a ticket and sit home. So I was like, yeah, I have weed on me. She's like, okay. Have you been smoking it? And I was like, yeah, I hit it like once or twice, 5 hours ago.
You were playing the odds. I mean,
I was just being truthful and honest, like a fucking idiot.
Like a white guy.
Like a stupid, clueless, white fucking idiot. And she's like, all right, well, I'll be right back. I'm going to go run your stuff. She came back, ran the stuff, walked back up to my car. She's like, all right, sir, I need you to get out of the car. And I got out of the car, and she, like, patted me down, and then she put me in the back seat of the police car. And I about had a panic attack.
Right.
I wasn't even cuffed at this point, but just being in the back seat of a police car, I was freaking out. And then she came back, and she went and got my wife out of the car and put the wife, like, right, I had to watch all of this. She patted down my wife, and, like, she's freaked out. She put my wife in the back of the police car with me. That was a little bit awkward. And then she came back, and when she...
I mean, watching the female sheriff... state trooper.
She woman handled her.
Pat down your wife.
Yeah.
It had to be a little hot.
Nope. That's how scared I was.
All right.
It wasn't hot.
Excuse
me.
So
then she pulls me back out of the car.
I'm a different kind of person.
Yeah, I know. You can jerk off to this story later, okay? But right now, let's stick to the brass facts.
Okay, fine. I'll wait.
So she pulls me out of the car. This, wife's in the back of the car. She pulls me out and gives me weed sobriety test.
Okay. Which I didn't know was a thing.
Did not involve a hacky sack.
Right.
I thought maybe she was going to make me try to watch like an Adam Sandler movie, and if I laughed, I was high. I don't know what it was. But what it was is I had to like stand on one leg. I had to walk a straight line.
You had to stand on one leg?
Yeah, for weed. And I'm like right beside the highway, so there's like semi-trucks flying by us 55, 60 miles an hour, like 2 feet away, and I'm like in like a muscle shirt, like sleeveless at the end of an April night, so it's kind of chilly. I'm nervous, so I'm kind of shivering, and she gives me these bullshit sobriety tests, and then she goes, and I'm just like going along with it, like it feels like a dream or something.
Real quick, the hacky sack.
Yes.
How would that be a sobriety test?
If she threw it up in the air and I hacked back, I'm a stoner.
Okay.
A normal person would be like, what? Don't throw that at me, dude.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a joke. And so she's like, all right, sir, is under my opinion that you're high, operating a vehicle, and you're now under arrest. And
I guess we're going by opinions now?
Yeah. So that's all it is. She can't.
Right.
Those are bullshit tests. She told me I failed the sobriety test because when I tilted my head back to silently count to 30, my eyes fluttered. And when I tried to cross my eyes, I had the inability to cross my eyes with the pin test.
Right.
Like I did everything else fine. Well, then I get like a copy of her police report, and she added like 5 shit that I failed. She didn't tell me that night, but she said she marked on there that I was swaying, that like I couldn't stand on one foot, that I was slurred, like just she put all this shit on there that she didn't tell me that night. But she arrested me, she handcuffed me behind my back, and my wife, it was her birthday weekend, so she was drinking and she couldn't drive.
Yeah.
So now like she's like, all right, well I'm just gonna leave your car right here on the side of the road. She's like, I'm taking you back to the state trooper barracks, which was luckily like a half mile back the other way. Apparently that's what they do in that town. They just sit there and they look for people to pull over.
Well, yeah.
So they take me back to the state barracks, and she says, okay. She goes, someone has to come get you or you're going to be spending the night in jail. And I'm 3 hours from home, Friday night, probably close to midnight at this point. Who do I call?
All right, you guys got a kid.
Yeah.
You guys,
kids at the babysitters. Yeah. And that's the one thing, too. I'll talk about this story. I talk about it on stage. Like, it's not embarrassing to me. Like, it's something I had to go through, but, like, Lily doesn't know about it. Like, that's the one thing still with this story. So if you guys see Lily...
She refuses to attend your shows.
Yeah. If you guys see Lily, ixnay on the arrest day.
Also, if any of you guys see Lily, like, why are you hanging out with, like, a...
9-year-old.
9?
Yeah.
Yeah, quit hanging out with 9-year-olds,
weirdos. So I get arrested in the car. She takes us to the barracks. She's like, someone has to come get you. And, like, I can't think of anybody. And Laura, my wife, she's like, well, I'm going to call Dan. That's Dan Dean, the guy that ran the show. And she calls, and this is 45 minutes after the show's over because, you know, this is whole being on the side of the road, the sobriety test, driving back to the barracks. Like, Dan's already almost to his house. He has his 16-year-old son with him. Mm-hmm. He has to turn around, come back, and sign us out.
Give some background on Dan real quick.
Army guy, great dude, comedian, but he runs shows. I mean, know.
So, like, because I know what's coming up in the story.
Yeah, he's a MP. He's the military police. He doesn't smoke. He's a straight-laced guy, but he's a good guy. He's our friend. I mean, you know, And so he gets there, and he's in his camo kilt because he's part Irish, and that's part of his gimmick on stage. You know, he wears and like the arresting officer thought he was drunk, gave him a sobriety test, and I had to take a piss test. Oh, okay, well, I'm getting ahead of myself though. We get to the barracks, and I'm so handcuffed. She walks us into this little room, and she says, "Are you left-handed or right-handed?" And I thought that was such a weird question. I was like, "Oh, well, I'm right-handed." And then she started taking the cuffs off. Mm-hmm. Well, she took the cuffs off, but she freed my right hand and then cuffed my left hand to the bench. In a closed, locked office at 12 o'clock on a Friday night. I had when she found my weed, I had the one hitter in a jar with maybe a gram of weed. Mm-hmm. And she's like, the whole time, she just hates weed. She's like, I hate the smell of weed.
You're basically the next Hitler.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, I was the drug kingpin. She finally got that off the streets.
Right, cocaine cowboy.
You know, all the drunk people that probably drove by us while I was doing my weed sobriety test, and, you know, people pilled out of their minds. You know, like, you guys, they were going fast, so they were okay. They knew the secret. Right. Go fast. Like, as fucked up as you are, go equally as fast.
I've always said that. That's the law I've lived by.
But don't quote me on that if you get in trouble.
Well, you can. I mean,
so she handcuffed me to the bench, and I was like, that seems a bit extreme.
Yeah.
But she did have a little jar of candy bars on her desk, and I was like, she didn't want me getting those candy bars.
Oh man, too bad you couldn't get them.
I would have
made all of them.
I'm
like, I thought those were for everybody.
She was so excited too. I'll never forget this because she had just gotten a new system, and this is a direct quote. I was going to be her guinea pig on how to put a new, like, arrestee through the system. I think that's the only reason I was arrested, because she just wanted to... Yeah. I mean, how do you arrest someone for a gram of weed?
Well, they won't let me do it anymore. So.
Well, yeah, since it's a arrest. Like, we're tired of this, Josh. So then she says I had to... She said to take a piss test. If I refused it, my license would be suspended for a year right there on the spot. If I took it and passed... no problems. Okay. If I took it and, you know, found out that I was, you know, there's THC in my blood system or whatever, then my license would be suspended for 6 months. Well, I didn't want my license suspended for a year. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll take the piss test. So I go, take the piss test. Dan comes, gets in. Even before Dan got there, I said, can we not just go to a hotel? I said, I'm 38 years old, 39, you know, like, I'm not a kid. Like, just... Can we go? Is there a hotel I can call a cab? She looked at me. She goes, "Sir, that's not my job." So Dan comes, picks us up, signs us out. He gets a sobriety test.
That is such bullshit.
He gets a sobriety test, and he gives sobriety tests in the military. Yeah. And he told me afterwards, he goes, "That was the worst sobriety test I'd ever seen." And that's the lady that gave me a sobriety test that, you know, said I was high and everything. So Dan puts in closest hotel into his GPS. It takes us around the block. There's a hotel right across the street from the barracks. But that's not her job.
They drugged Dan down there for really no reason.
So we had to get a hotel that night. It was like $70 because she wouldn't let me drive. She said if she goes by anytime the car's gone before morning, she's like, I will arrest you. She's like, I'll come to West Virginia and I will arrest you. And I was like, well, fuck you, bitch. So we had to spend the night. We get up. I don't think I slept that night. We slept in one of the worst hotels ever. Got up at daylight, 7 a.m., 7:30, whatever. Yeah. Tried to find a taxi. No taxis even start in that town till noon. So we just walked like the mile to the car. Like, just, that was the worst walk of shame. I've never had, like, the booty call walk of shame.
Right.
But that was a pretty bad walk of shame there. We were walking past Burger King. The guy was changing the sign. He's like, hey, you guys need jobs? And I was like, this is it. This is rock bottom. I was like, neck tattoo Burger King employee is offering us a job. I was like, no, I got a job. I was just arrested last night.
Man, you guys could have started a whole new life.
Yeah, I could have been manager by now at that Burger. I could have been the Burger King. So we get in the car, and strange thing, I get in the car, and there's a pack of rolling papers on the passenger seat. Mm-hmm. And they weren't mine. Like, she took the pipe, everything.
Right.
So I think one of the other cops accidentally, finger quotes, maybe. I think they did it on purpose. I think, because the other cops that night, there was another cop at the scene, and another cop had to take me into the bathroom to pee. And they both just looked like they just pitied the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I just saw it on their face, like, hey, man, sorry you just got arrested for a gram of weed.
Right, like, they know how she is.
Yeah, like, Officer Hayes again. She's fucking, she's up there. Shit. Yeah,
I was going to ask you in a little bit of what if you knew her name.
Fuck her. Yeah, fuck her, man. Oh. So, like, but I think, in my mind, I think one of them left papers there as like, hey, dummy, learn how to roll weed. Roll joints, you know?
Yeah.
Because I have not driven with the pipe since then, 2 years.
Right.
Because that's the one thing I learned from this. Like, I started rolling joints with that book of paper, with that pack of papers. And now when I go anywhere, I just take joints with me so I can eat them real fast. Yeah. Because that actually happened a week later. I was pulled over again, leaving a show in DeGrasse, Ohio, with my wife. And the officer, you know, was trying to find, he was asking where we're coming from. And he's like, I learned my lesson. He goes, kind of smells like weed in here. You been smoking? I was like, no, sir. Marijuana, I'll kick you in the nuts right now, you cocksucker. He goes, well, it smells like weed. And I was like, well, probably because I was hanging out with a bunch of comedians. Yeah. And all they do is smoke weed, sir.
Those fucking heathens.
That's why I left. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to go run your information. So he goes and runs my information, and me and my wife eat like 3.5 joints real fast. Because this guy's going to be searching the car.
A week later.
Yeah, a week fucking later, a week to the day. Another Ohio. And this guy comes back, and even though he just said it smelled like weed in there, and I lied and told him I wasn't, he goes, okay, we just slow it down and have a good day. I'm going to let you off with the warning.
There you go.
So I didn't tell the truth. Yes. I didn't cooperate. I wasn't a dick. I didn't cooperate, but I lied.
Yep.
And I got to leave.
There you go.
I shook his hand. It was probably the widest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I don't know why you would have shook his hand.
I was like, thank you, sir. And I shook his hand through the car. And I was like, be safe out there.
Shouldn't have done any of that.
But it's just, arrested.
So, all right. So you get back your car. There's papers in there. So, all right. You guys are back in the car.
That's a long 3-hour drive home.
So then you just drive home.
Just drive home in silence. And what the fuck are we even going to do?
Right.
And I had to go back. Let me make sure I got everything. Super funny. Got that. Hardest punch in the world. Let me mark that off. Super hard punch. Don't forget to mention the punch.
Muscle T.
Show
off the muscles.
Got paid for comedy.
All the important things are here to the story.
But I wasn't high.
It sounds like it was a great night.
Like, that was my thing, too. Is like, I told the truth and I was honest because, like I was high the week later and I lied. But I didn't feel high when she pulled me over. And I still, even now, 2 years later, I cannot fathom the fact that I was arrested for having a gram of weed, not even out smoking. Like, she even made comments. She goes, I've never seen one of you guys' cars looking this clean. Like, lumping
one
me.
Of your guys'
like lumping
cars.
me with all the other weed heads. You know, like she's never seen like such a clean, like, because like the pipe was in a package, which was inside a different package. Like, it was obvious that we weren't just like driving down the road smoking. Yeah, like it was just. But like I said, your boy only messes with the dank, so she smelled it. You know. And I had my marijuana earring now. that yes, I'm high, officer bumper sticker may be a mistake. So that was April 13th.
All right.
And then they said, now I have to come back April 18th. So then I had to go to work. I've been at my job at this point 15 years. Okay. I was like, what do I tell work? And then people were like, lie to them. Like, the few friends I told, tell them Lily's sick and you have to take Lily to the doctor. And I was like, well, lying's not going to fix anything. Like, lying about Lily is not going to help because then next time Lily comes in, You're like, oh, Lily, how was the doctor the other day? And, you know, like, I didn't want to put Lily in the middle of anything.
Then you have to go, like, she lost her ability to talk.
She dumped them down the head. Thanks a lot.
So, you know, now she knows better than to say things.
So I just told my manager, and it was like a shock to them. Because, like, if you don't, I'm not like one of these persons like talks about weed every day. You know, I'm not like posting about it.
Right,
especially back then.
Yeah.
Like, now I have a little bit just because, like, the shit's out and, like, people know. But at the time, like, they never suspected me as, like, a weed smoker. Like, that was the biggest shock to them. But I told my work, I told my boss. My boss was like, well, I'm glad it happened in Ohio and not West Virginia because now it won't be in our papers. You know? So I just told him the truth. I was like, I had to take time. Every time I've gone to Wilmington, each one of these times I'm about to say was an unpaid day. So I had to go 8 hours without pay. Had to pay for gas, 3 hours there, 3 hours back because it was that long of a drive. And I go there the 18th, back to Wilmington, and that's where I had to plead guilty or not guilty. And I'm in the courtroom, and there's all these cases ahead of me, and half of them are weed. And every single one of them is, all right, you had possession of weed, possession of paraphernalia. That's $250 fine each. Exactly what I had.
Yeah.
$250 fine each. And then I get up there, well, you have possession, but also, you know, OVI, because this cop said I was high. So, like, now it's, you know, like, they wanted me to plead guilty, and I was like, I'm not. Like, I wasn't high. Like, I was so stubborn about this.
Yeah.
So I said not guilty, and I was like, all right, well, now you have to come back. So, that first trip down.
Well, so, you're back on the 18th, so it's 5 days later, and you also said that a week later you got pulled over again.
Yeah.
So, you go back, then you go on up somewhere else in Ohio the next day?
Yep. I went, I got pulled over 13th, which was a Friday, so the 18th would have been Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then that Friday, I went to the Graph, Ohio for comedy.
Okay, and that's when you get,
That's when I got pulled over again. So when I went up the 18th, that's when I met my lawyer, a young hotshot named Connor or something or another. I remember that because Connor's my favorite musician.
Young
Connor.
hotshot.
Well, that's what everyone kept saying. They're like, oh. You got Connor. Like, he's a good one. You know, and like Connor, when I talked to him that day, he seemed really into my case, you know. And like once he saw everything, I mean, because like a weed sobriety test is, there's no such thing.
Right, it's not a real thing.
It's her, it's like gave her cause to like arrest me, and then she changed all the shit on the arrest report. Yeah. She said on the report that I refused to take any sobriety test. I mean, it's just she fucked me good, this one. So Connor, you know, he's excited. He thinks he's gonna, because it's, you know, newsflash, just a court-appointed attorney. Like, I don't have money for a defense attorney. Like, I tried to contact NORML, the National Organization for the Reformation of Marijuana Law, and even them, you had to have some sort of money, make a donation to get one of their lawyers. So I was like, well, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to go the public defender route. So I get this guy, and I'm there the 18th, and he's like, all right, we'll come back May 8th, and that's, you know, we're going to try to, you know, you might have to do the 8th and then come back one more time. Like, the 8th will be like where we find out what they have against you, and that, you know, we're getting the ball rolling. So I was like, cool. So the 8th gets there. I call him the night before, and or the morning before, the 7th, that morning I called him, and he's like, yeah, we're going to do, this is, you know, they can't get you on this. We're going to get you off of this, all this. I was like, all right, man, maybe, you know, this doesn't have to be bad. So then I go the 8th, and I'm like, all right, I'm here, you know, where's Connor? Like, oh, Connor doesn't work here. I was like, what? Connor? Yeah, he got a job. One of the law firms in town hired him.
Connor died 10 years ago.
Yeah. He was killed by a stoner out there on Route 35.
He was trying to help.
But yeah, Connor left. I talked to him the day before. He knew he was leaving, and he didn't say anything.
And he just was like failing to mention that shit.
Yeah, because I'm just some stoner probably. And he's like, you know, whatever, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I mean, you did play Stoner number 2 in a movie.
I know, yeah. Stoner number 1, thank you.
Stoner number 1, I'm sorry.
You better put a little bit of respect on my name. So a lady comes up, and she's like, well, here's this lady. You know, she's going to be your lawyer for today. Like, I literally saw her look at my file for the first time ever. And she's like, well, just plead guilty to drunk driving. I was like, well, I wasn't. I was like, I had marijuana. I wasn't high. I was like, I'm not pleading guilty to anything. She's like, all right, well, you got to come back. Because she wasn't prepared. She was super busy. So that was May 8th. Next time I had to come back, June 28th. Again, unpaid day off from work, all that. So I get to, no, I'm sorry, the 8th is when I did meet Connor. And then June 28th was when it was supposed to be the trial. And Connor, and Connor wasn't there. So that's why they had me coming back again. And I had to come back August 23rd. And that's basically where I met my, the not the lady lawyer. It was a third one yet. Again, person. Yes. But this guy actually, he seemed pretty cool. He had sideburns.
So, he knows what's up.
He had like a purple shirt, button-up shirt. I mean, he seemed pretty
unbuttoned the top.
Yeah. But he was a cool guy, and he was like, all right. He's like, I think we can't fight this. Like, I could tell he was kind of a partier.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's like, this is definitely something we can do. And I was like, all right, man. So he worked on it, and then finally my court case came because he wanted me to plead guilty too. He was like, dude, just plead guilty. He's like, you'll lose your license for a year. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, the cop said, I would only lose it for half a year. And he's like, oh, cops can lie all they want during the course of an investigation. Yeah. I said, me, I didn't know that.
I've watched SVU.
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, silly me. I've been telling the truth this whole time.
So he wants you to just plead like a bunch of fucking quitters.
Yeah, but then once he looked into it and saw the sobriety test and all that, he was like, all right, I think I can get all this thrown out. And I was like, cool, man. I was like, that's awesome. So finally, the 5th time I go there, October 24th, 2018, the morning starts, we go in his office. He has a framed poster of Clerks 2 on his wall. Okay. Cool lawyer. I'm telling you, cool guy.
Wait, what, Clerks 2?
Clerks 2. It was autographed for some reason. Yeah, it's still Clerks 2.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right.
He's a cool guy.
I mean, he
had a Joker tie on that day.
Oh, he's not a cool guy.
He's like 65 years old, but sideburns, just blazing.
Okay, he's if he's old like that, I'm kind of back in on him being cool.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, you fucked with Clerks too, and he was excited. We went from his office to the courthouse, and we're outside the courthouse waiting, and he comes up to me and he's like, bad news. And I was like,
I've been a ghost.
I was like, bad news. He's like, they're making a Clerks 3, and we cried together for a good
They're doing a Jay and Silent Bob sequel.
He said apparently since I over cooperated, which we knew all along, but I took my piss test within 3 hours of being arrested.
Yeah.
And apparently I had so many nanograms of THC in my blood. The state of Ohio.
Little robots.
It sounds made up to me. I thought it was a social media site for our grandmas. Nanogram.
Yeah.
There's a laugh.
There's a laugh.
You've heard that before.
I've heard that a lot.
A lot. She says, bad news. You had so many nanograms of THC in your blood. The state of Ohio refuses to believe that I was anything but high.
The entire state.
There's no fight. Yeah, like just as a whole, the state of Ohio is like, that motherfucker high.
All of Ohio came together on this one.
Yeah,
we all agree.
This guy
You're fucking high, son.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter that I could have been in Colorado the pure 2 weeks before that, and that's why that's what's so fucked up about marijuana law right now.
Yeah,
like sure it's legal in half the, which I had to hear that so many times too. This isn't Colorado. This isn't Washington. This isn't Michigan. Yeah.
That fucking... Just that tone of fucking voice. Like, don't talk down to me.
The judge was such a pompous prick, man, too.
Cause I got that shit when I got pulled over once for having my inspection ticket being dead. Yeah. And that fucking cop was like, no one wants to have to deal with this. But I was like, go fuck yourself,
You're not my dad?
Yeah, fuck off,
you.
Dude.
So, I had somebody they refused to believe I was anything but high, so there was nothing I could do to fight it. But luckily, like, this is still how cool that guy was. He got them to drop the weed charge, the paraphernalia charge, basically the shit I was prepared to plead guilty to.
Yeah.
Because that's, in my mind, I wasn't high, but I had that shit on me.
Yeah.
Give me the $250 fines, let me on my way. So, nope, I had to plead guilty, because they said if I pled guilty, they would drop the other stuff. So I had to. Okay. But I would still get my time in court. Because that's what when it started, I said, I'm saying something to the judge.
Right.
Like, I don't know what. I don't know if it's going to make me feel better, whatever. So I had to do that. And, like,
I'm reading one of my poems.
Yeah. Well, I have a crush on him, and I think if he would just give me a chance that we could be together in love, because he doesn't know how much I love him, Josh. And if he just tried to just, like, let me love him.
My heart.
Yeah. If you would just give me a chance.
Heart. I'm glad you're getting to say all this now.
I just know that me and him could have made it. But he friend-zoned me so hard. It was the nanograms.
Fucking judges.
It was the nanograms.
Fucking judges. You know how they are.
So I had to plead guilty, and basically it was my lawyer was like, he did lie a little bit, because he's like, yeah, and you won't have any jail time or anything. And of course I'm in court, and the guy's like, all right, you plead guilty, so now if you get in any trouble within the next year, those 300 days could be added on to your... And I was like, oh? So basically, like,
oh, God.
I got guilty for OVI. I did get my speech where I was just basically saying this isn't fair. I wasn't high. Like, I cooperated, and I got the same, well, this isn't Colorado. This isn't blah, blah, blah. You know, you need to not drive with marijuana. And, you know, they make it sound so easy. You know, like, just don't have weed on you all the time. It's like, that's like saying don't breathe air with your lungs.
I can't smoke it. It's not with me. I don't think you guys see the problem with that.
Fucking lawyers and their nanograms and the judges.
And rules.
So basically, and I didn't, there's small silver lines. I never had to take another piss test again. I wasn't put on probation. I never had a mug shot. I've searched my name. I don't think I've ever been in any newspaper about this or anything, you know. Not to be a big story or anything, but I destroyed all the TVs so my daughter couldn't see the news. I was like, no, 60 Minutes, I'm going to be the lead story. Man has world record nanograms in his blood count.
Oh, this is going to be running on the bottom of the ticker tape on ESPN all day.
But the judge said basically what it is I'm going to be in their system every morning for the next year. They're going to run my name. And if I get in any trouble anywhere else, you know, that's what it was going to be. My license got suspended for a year.
Yeah.
And this was, so I got arrested April 13th, 2018. When I finally had to plead guilty, April 24th, 2018. Jesus. 6 months, over 6 months had gone by.
Yeah.
All those trips back and forth and everything. And then I got my court cost with fines and everything. $1,225.
Good Lord.
Yes.
On top, what, 2 court appearances?
2 or 3, something like that. Yeah, because I had to plead not guilty the first. Yeah, actually 2, because I pled not guilty, and then the second time, you know, where I had to plead guilty because, you know, the goddamn nanograms.
Like, you didn't even want to take up their time.
Yeah.
Like, if it was up to you, just let me. Don't worry about it.
I'll give you $500.
I'm not take your time up.
Yeah. I won't come back.
I'll stay in West Virginia.
Fuck Wilmington. So they suspended my license for a year, and they gave me privileges for Ohio. I had to pay like an extra $100 or something, and they gave me like where I could have privileges in Ohio. And I never told West Virginia about it because I was going to play dumb, you know.
Yeah.
Like what? And I had to go do a weekend at a hotel where it was like substance abuse. Like all this is because I pled guilty.
And you're like, yeah, you were telling me like the videos or like the informational shit they were doing. It's all geared towards like drunk driving.
Yeah, it was all that cost $400 to do that.
Yeah.
And so I had to go 3 days, no cell phone, no weed. It would have been pretty unbearable, but I snuck gummies in.
Right. I remember me and you talking beforehand.
Which, looking back now, is just the dumbest fucking thing. Because if I would have got caught with those, I mean, I would have gone to jail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would have gone straight to fucking jail because I couldn't have gone 3 days without some kind of high.
Right.
So I cut up 3 gummies into like 8s or something. Like I had them just and I stuffed them into a pepperoni roll because you could take stuff onto the weekend with you. But the guy checks all our stuff when we get there, and he's going through my bag and he picks up the pepperoni rolls. He goes, "What's these?" Because he's an Ohio guy, and I was like, "Pepperoni rolls, sir." He's like, "Oh, okay," and just threw them to the side. I was
pepperoni rolls, sir.
There's no weed gummies in there. But yeah, it was a bullshit weekend. We sat around in group. We all talked about why we were arrested. Here's the thing. None of us deserved to be there. That was the crazy part. There was like 26 of us or something in that class. And yeah, it was just, we watched movies. We watched like the normal DUI stuff, you know, like Blood on the Asphalt 4. And
yeah, right.
But then this is, if you're worried you may have a problem, listeners, if you watch these 4 movies, you might be cured. Because these are the these are the Hollywood movies they showed us. We watched Clean and Sober with Michael Keaton.
All right.
Spoiler alert, he doesn't turn into Batman.
Well, that's disappointing.
I didn't watch the end credits. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Might have been an end scene.
28 Days with Sandra Bullock.
Right, classic.
Yep, goes to rehab, falls in love, you know, comes out clean.
Typical experience.
That's pretty much what I did. I fell in love with my roommate Josh.
Right.
Or Joe.
Joe. Yeah.
We watched Flight with Denzel Washington, which makes me want to party.
Did it have the titties in it?
Oh, yeah. It was, we were adults.
Still, I just figure, you know, they're going to try to be all...
Oh, my titties! I had my titties out the whole weekend. No, yeah. Oh, yeah, we saw Tits in Flight. And then My Name is Bill, about the guy, the founder of AA. And he starring James Woods.
He's a cult leader, also.
Well, AA,
that's what AA
is. Yeah. So that's what we did for the weekend. And we took tests, and I had to take what was called a SASE test, which is basically like a mental evaluation, kind of like there's tests that you take sometimes when you go to get a new job, and it's like, blah, blah, like Craig steals from his job, but it's okay, but he says Craig steals from his job because he thinks he's underpaid. Do you think that's okay? Don't think that's okay? Or like, a beer after work's not so bad.
Right.
Do you agree? Totally agree. Not agree? So I took this test, and I was like, I was pretty happy because I finished before anyone else, I was like,
For the first time ever.
I aptituded the fuck out of that test. Well, then we get the results back, and this isn't even, again, no human looked at it. The way I answered it, the computer spits out that I'm borderline depressed and have addict tendencies. So I had to go from there to Westbrook for a mental evaluation.
Right.
All because I got arrested for a gram of weed. And this is the weekend before Thanksgiving that I did this. Like I said, it was November 15th. I had to check in. And this is how serious I was about this mental evaluation. February 7th, 2019, a good 3 months later, because I couldn't really do anything until my year was up for suspension anyway.
Yeah.
So on 2/7, I went to Westbrook and had a mental evaluation. And that was the only time this whole entire process where I had someone that, like, actually looked at it and was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Like, the guy looked at everything, and he was like, what? He's like, he didn't agree with the weekends. He's like, yeah, those things don't help. Like, the test, he's like, what the fuck is this? He's like, you're fine. Like, yeah, I meant to bring the letter, but I have a letter saying that, like, I'm not mental, I'm not depressed, I'm not, fooled him. High five, pal! I fooled him.
That guy must have been smoking weed.
So that was my mental evaluation, the 7th, and then I got my license back on the first day I could, October 24th, 2019. I went, did all the shit, got my license back. Of course, that was a bigger pain in the ass. Like, even though I have a West Virginia driver's license, that's all I've ever had, Ohio wanted $400 to reinstate my driver's license. West Virginia wanted like $75 and like a bottle of Mountain Dew or something, And I had the bottle of Mountain Dew. So I mailed that.
It was warm.
Yeah.
It's in the car.
It was hot piss, but come on. And I drove the whole time except for the last 3 months. My stepdad had to co-sign for the car I was driving, and he found out that my license was suspended for a year, which I thought they knew, and they just knew that I just wasn't giving any fucks.
We thought they read the newspaper.
Yeah, they saw 60 Minutes.
Right.
So they got mad about that, and here I was, 39-year-old man not driving for 3 months, and that was fucking awful.
Yeah.
But now I have my license back. I don't know if this is like on a permanent record of mine or something. Like, if I'm pulled over, will it show that I was arrested 2 years ago?
I don't know.
Will it show that I was a comedian? Will that pop up? And that did not get me the respect I had hoped, And I was like, just let the comedy show.
Cop comes back and like, hands your license. How's that punch? Still the strongest punch in the room?
I was like, you know it, baby.
All right, go on about your day then.
She asked for my autograph like 4 different times. It was on those police forms.
So this fucking woman, this state trooper.
Yes.
She fucking pulls you over because she just has a vendetta against pot.
What? Because I was in an out-of-state car leaving.
A certain way.
Yeah. Once she knew I had the pot, I think I was being arrested. It didn't matter.
Yeah. So because of that, like, for the next almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, not quite almost 2 years. But
year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half. It costs you $1,200, it's almost $1,300 in court fees.
Yeah, $400 for the course.
Yeah, so there's $1,700.
I'm sure it's close to $3,000 with lost wages.
$400 to get your license back.
Yep. And plus, there's just like little $50, little $75 things here and there.
Processing fees.
Yeah, like I had to pay Westbrook to like mail the information to the DMV that I wasn't a fucking mental case.
Yeah.
Like I had to pay like the course to like mail their stuff to Westbrook. Like, it's just little pops here and there where they just keep getting money out of me. And like I'm sure with lost wages and gas and everything, this cost me well over $3,000. I mean,
and you never smoked weed again.
Nope, never again. I mean, it wasn't great on our relationship. I'm single right now. It's not because of this.
I thought we got through it okay.
oh, me and you, yeah. It made us stronger. I just remember getting back and you just holding me.
Right.
Like, I couldn't even talk. Like, every time I tried, you would just put your little finger up to my lips and just.
You mean a little finger? I got normal sized fingers.
Well, you did your pinky though, which was weird.
Yeah,
it was like yeah, but that's not why we're not together anymore. But that's, I mean,
it didn't help.
Yeah, it's at least half of it, I'm sure. You know, I mean, there was stuff before it and stuff after, but it's just it changed so much.
So thanks, Wilmington, Ohio.
Yeah. And the thing is, what I always say now, and the reason I like telling the story, because I'll talk about it on stage sometime. I'm not, like I said, I'm not embarrassed. I don't want Lily to know. Like, when she's 18 or something, I'll tell her. But right now, like, it's just Dad got arrested. Like, I don't want to be a bad guy in my daughter's eyes. Mm-hmm. You know, like, no dad, I don't think, wants that. You know, maybe Joe Jackson. But other than him.
Well, she knows you got arrested?
No, she doesn't know.
I thought you said she knows.
She doesn't, and I don't want her to know until she's, like, older and can process it correctly. And I can be like, yeah, I was arrested for this reason. I'll play her this episode one day.
Well, I'd say here in, like, 3 years, you should be like, hey, so here's the truth. Cops are shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ever be honest with them.
And I don't recommend being a dick to a police officer. Because, like, the next week, I wasn't a dick to that cop, but I said the things that would get me out of the trouble.
Exactly.
I wasn't smoking. I didn't have any weed on me. And even if I did, like, if you want to search, I need a warrant. Like, I was just such in a hurry to get it over with so I could just get home. Like, I just kept thinking of, like, all right, I'm going to tell her I smoke. I'll give her the weed. She'll let me go. And then, like, I was arrested.
Fair trade, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else you want, lady.
It was really good pot, man.
You get free pot. Like, I don't know. You got my pipe,
but she left
which is like a 4-hitter.
It's not a 1-hitter. It's been established. But I learned the role. I'm a really good. I got a blunt sitting right here. Allegedly of tobacco.
Yeah. So there you go. That's
why I'm so mediocre and middle aged, I guess.
That aged Joel. Joel was like on April 13th, that Friday night. Joel was 24, and as he sits here today, he is 40 years old.
I am.
So that's what happens when you get arrested.
Don't get arrested.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get arrested, like, make it like, I wish I would have, like, given a reason. I don't know what, but, like, just there's so many fantasies in my head of just like telling her off, just not being the nice. I mean,
yeah. Well, hopefully she's listening.
I hope she is. Officer Hayes.
You said Hayes?
Hayes.
Yeah.
Haynes or Hayes or something.
I think. So you shouldn't. I guess I should. I'm gonna go to Wilmington, Ohio, and just drive slow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be obeying every other fucking law I can think of, but I'm just gonna drive slow.
Drive slow, homie.
Just wait for her. Just bait her in, and then I'm just gonna be super annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go.
I think you're gonna probably get me. She's gonna
remember me. Just start crying.
I feel like you're gonna have a freak out, and then it's gonna be a whole thing.
Grab her gun.
I'm suddenly going to
prison
for murder.
Shot. Yeah. Maybe not.
Now we're on the run. Which I'm fine with.
We have to start a new podcast.
I just don't have the best vehicle for it.
Yeah. We'll be in my Kia.
Unless we steal her car.
Oh, there you go.
So
we need to stop talking.
Then we can just pull people over.
we're just. I wouldn't arrest anyone.
On the run
I would just take their weed and let them go. And that's another thing. I've heard so many stories. Friends, like, oh, I got pulled over with weed in West Virginia. Not one person I've heard tell me a story that starts like that has ended with being arrested. The cop just poured it out. Cop took it, let me go, gave me a warning. That's what I thought it was. If you're a cop and you're listening to this, like, man, come on.
First of all, weed's not even a drug.
I know!
Get over it. Just get over it.
I was driving slow. I'm such a cliche.
Yeah.
The stoner who was pulled over for driving too slow. Man.
Hey, man. Dave's not here, man.
I'm already pulled over.
She's like, I asked what your name was. I said Dave's not here, man.
I punched the hardest, officer.
Officer. I get it. Whoa.
My pants kept falling down and I kept reaching for him. And she's like, do not reach for your pants again, sir.
Let them fall.
Yeah.
Let that dick hang.
I was turtle shelled to that. I mean, I could have been in a pool of cold water. I mean, I don't think it would have.
I hit my head off the mic.
Dong.
So a lot was going on.
It feels good to get out. This has almost been like a therapy session.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're here for, man.
Good.
That's the more I've thought about podcasting. I think the reason why podcasts have become so just what they are now, like just because like everybody has a fucking podcast.
Yep.
And everybody listens to them, but I think it's just like It's the only way anybody knows how to connect with somebody anymore. Like, it's the only way we can ever have just a real conversation.
This is the most talking I've done like since last time I was here.
If you just came over and hung out, like, we would not have much of a conversation. Like, there would be a little bit here and there, just like, hey, so what's going on, blah, blah, blah. But I think podcasts let people have, like, really back and forth good conversations. So.
Get to know people.
Yeah, so.
Now you guys know me.
Yeah, so there's Joel's story.
I'm a hardened criminal who punches the hardest.
Right. I mean, I don't think anybody would have guessed that you had a criminal record.
It's crazy. So, like, sometimes I stop and, like, I was arrested. Like, it's such a weird thing.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean,
I got street cred. I mean, it did give me some street cred.
Right.
My rap album is going to drop next month.
Anytime now.
Anytime.
You've been really putting it off.
Yeah,
right? I feel like you should have done it right
It's
off
the
the
weed.
bat.
That's what weed does to you.
So, yeah, I think next week when we do this, I will...
You should get arrested between now and next week, and then we'll do your story.
Let's get to it, man. I'll go through it when I'm lake sweeping you in the front yard here in a minute. I'm hoping cops drive by. I'm say, next one's for you, officer. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a story from that kind of covers my early wrestling life.
I look forward to that.
So it should be fun. There's a lot of
I like wrestling
stuff that I'm sure as I start digging into it.
Maybe we'll have a wrestler on next week too.
Maybe we might have a special guest. We're gonna see if we can't hook that up.
Hulk Hogan.
No, not as long as I'm around. If Hulk Hogan offered to do this podcast, I would tell Hulk Hogan, go fuck yourself. Even though having Hulk Hogan on our podcast,
if he does, you need to bring him on and then tell him like I'll be like, Hulk, man, it's so good to have you here. We
go fuck yourself, Terry.
Josh, is there anything you want to add? Go fuck yourself, then just hang up on him. And one single brother tear just rolls down his little Hulkster face.
I'm still blocked on Twitter by him.
Good.
Yeah.
You're gonna regret that when he's president.
Just cause, yeah. Well, I mean, I regret everything I've ever said about the next president. How do you feel about these fucking murder hornets?
I mean, I saw a video of them attacking a beehive, and 10 of them killed like 3,000 bees in an hour.
Like, what the fuck?
And apparently, they can sting through the beekeepers' suits. I read today,
right.
And they're from where? They're from the Orient. Is that?
I forget.
Like, how did they get here? Africa or something? Like, did someone bring one? Were they like, oh man, this little fella needs to see America?
My theory is, like, the government put out the UFO stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, you see that?
Yeah, I did see.
So they put the UFO thing out, and like everybody just went, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, so then I think they went, hey, they didn't pay attention to that at all. Release the murder hornets. And I think they just had some somewhere. And like, I think they're trying to.
Yeah, how did they get that video that I watched? Like, that's kind of weird.
They staged it, just like the moon landing. I think something's happening in the world. Like, I think some shit's going down, and they're trying to, like, subtly, subliminally
distract
tell us things are happening or something, and we're not paying attention. So they're like, well, here's murder hornets. It's just stuff.
Pretty soon they're going to be coming in here on UFOs.
This is a fucking crazy time.
Yeah,
I mean, I know, the UFO thing, like, the reason why nobody gives a shit at this point is because we all get what a UFO is.
Yeah, I've seen X-Files.
Right. Like, let me see an alien, and then I'll be like, ooh.
Ooh.
But, man, this year, like, we almost had World War III at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Then Australia almost burnt to the ground completely.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic. And now murder hornets.
Yeah. And 2020 is supposed to be my year.
It's only May.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I just got all this over all this.
Supposed to be your year.
I got over all the arrest shit in 2019. You know, by November I was driving again. I was living in my own place. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I was getting good bookings. We were supposed to have a PWI show yesterday.
I know,
buddy.
It popped up on my.
I wrote it on my calendar and I saw it.
It popped up on my phone, the event reminder, and it made me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. It's been
when we come back, can you have a tag team called the Murder Hornets?
I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are going to be 7,000 of those in the Indies.
Freebird rule. Oh, okay. They've been 7,000 members.
Yeah, I mean,
the essential the essential what are they called?
Just the essential workers.
Murder
all the
Hornets.
essential murder hornets.
That's gonna be the next group. Oh, I hit my mic.
Yes, it's only May. It's just the 3rd day of May, and shit's already nuts.
And it's gonna be.
And we got 7 more months of this thing.
Woohoo!
So, if everybody, I hope we all see it at the end of 2020.
Yeah.
I hope we all make it through. I think we're gonna lose some of you though.
Kick out at 3.
Kick out at 2.
Don't kick out at 3.
You can kick out at 3 if you want, but
That's a dick move.
Then you're just burying your opponent's
yeah.
That's a Hulk Hogan move. That's
a
real Hulk Hogan
That
move,
is. So, I kicked out, but it was just a second too late, brother.
Yeah.
Prayers.
Right up, and I start no-selling it.
Yeah. Get my heat back.
So, okay, well, like I said at the beginning of this, I don't have any what would you rather. So I was gonna write some, and I just didn't.
Would you rather not get arrested or get arrested?
Get arrested.
Oh, interesting.
I can't believe I've never been arrested.
I know. I've been around. Out of the two of us.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 people would say you got arrested.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, just anybody that knows.
I'm an angel.
You're definitely more of
I'm an angel.
You're definitely more of a
angel.
easygoing.
Yeah.
Like.
That's the problem. I think I was too easygoing that night.
With the flow.
Yep.
Yeah, I say shit to people a lot.
Yeah.
I run my mouth a lot.
It's a miracle you haven't been arrested.
I kicked that one cop right in the dick.
Yeah, I know.
He just went, "Thank you."
I have another.
But so no, I've been pulled over a lot though. Like, I can't believe I've tried the wrestler card before. I've tried it twice now. Did not work either time.
The comedian card didn't get me anything either.
That's weird, right?
Yeah.
You would think.
This is no laughing matter.
Oh, she had a cool one-liner?
No, she didn't say that. I'm just sure that was in her head.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I would have actually taken back everything I said if she would have had a cool one-liner.
Nope, she didn't have anything cool. She hated the smell of weed, and I was her guinea pig. That was her one-liner. You're going to be my guinea pig.
Well, hey, have any of you been arrested? If any of you have been arrested, share your. Have you been arrested in Wilmington, Ohio?
Yeah,
that'd be really fun.
Yeah,
but yeah, let us hear your arrest stories.
Yep.
And damn the man.
Yeah, don't cooperate.
Don't cooperate. Just be cooperative.
Yeah,
but not truthful.
Protect yourself.
Right.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Watch out for you.
Yep.
And just know what they can and can't do.
Because they're not there to serve and protect.
No, they don't give a shit.
No, they're there to get $3,000 out of me.
Yep. They're there to keep getting grant money, and to get better equipment and better cars for themselves. Nope. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about anything else.
Nope.
So go follow us on Twitter. It's, again, Mid-Aged Mediocre. Follow us on Instagram, Middle-Aged Mediocre. We are on Facebook on the same thing. And, of course, anchor.fm/middle-aged mediocre. We are on Spotify, iTunes. I don't know where you're listening to us right now, but you already know that. I also thought, the show name doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And we are middle-aged and mediocre. Like, I wonder if there's... I hope people start listening thinking, like, to expect middle-aged stories, like the Middle Ages.
Oh.
And we just got nothing. And they're just like, when did they ever start talking about dragons?
But boring dragons?
We just don't ever bring them up.
There's just one dragon, never even left his cave. He never breathed fire. You're so mediocre.
He just got high all the time. So, all right, we are out for another week. Let us know. Let us know if you've ever been arrested and for what. See if you can top Joel's.
Yeah, smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every day.